All right, thanks for joining Team Inspired Fitness weekly Zoom call. I want to thank you guys for coming on. I know that you're all really busy right now. The holiday season is starting to kick in, so I want to thank you for being on live, and I want to thank you for listening. I want to give some shout outs tonight. I want to first shout out all the coaches, and there's a lot of you on Team Inspired Fitness who are taking part of the 30-60 push group. It's really exciting. We all have big goals for the end of the year, and it's off to a great start. I'm really excited about that. I want to shout out Jen E. She is going to rank advance tonight to Emerald. Whoop, whoop. So little congratulatory. She's been working her little butt off. I also want to shout out Marilee Groff, who got her Emerald rank back. And she's going to be rank advancing tomorrow also, which is really exciting. She's also in a 30-60 day push group, so good work done there. And I want to shout out Jake. Jake took time today to do a Zoom with me, and he's on tonight's call. That's a lot of Gen Fuji in one day. So thanks, Jake. All right, so tonight's call, if you guys are taking notes or in a position to take notes, I highly encourage you to get a pen and a piece of paper out, or if you're like me, a pencil. Your life should be done in pencil for sure. And tonight, I titled tonight's call about leading us into the new year. And a lot of tonight's content is around consistency and discipline. And I'm going to start with a quote. There is freedom to be found in discipline. There is freedom to be found in discipline. So many times when people want to they think about doing the 21-day fix or some sort of program, they're like, I don't know, because I have to commit, and it kind of puts me, like, they get fearful of that discipline. And it's the same reason that coaches tend to back away from doing groups or making commitments, doing challenge groups. Hi, Alyssa. Nice to see you. Because there's fear in discipline. We get scared of letting ourselves down, of letting others down. The whole idea of getting into a structure, it means we're making that commitment, but there is so much freedom to be found in discipline. You know, just for example, like I pre-made my dinner tonight. So when I got home from work today, I was like, oh, that's right, I pre-made my dinner. And I was so excited. That offered me the freedom to get ready and really prepare for tonight's call. So it opened up my schedule. So moving that into our business, I looked back on the last year of team calls, and I looked at this call last year, and it was really apropos. There are 4 quarters in business, and we are in the 4th quarter, and a lot of you have come off of the drudgery that was the 3rd quarter, kind of the ebb and flow. You know, there's ebbs and flows in our businesses, and so many times as new coaches and even as veteran coaches, we go through these amazing flows in business where people are coming out of the woodworks and we're getting coaches left and right, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. Or we start out right away and we get a coach and we think, oh my gosh, well, this is going to be easy. And then we hit a wall and we're like, whoa. And we go through this down cycle, and we ebb and we're no longer flowing. And attached with that can be a lot of, emotional turmoil and disappointment and frustration. But if you look at it as a business, which we are business owners, there is an ebb and flow to business. And the 3rd quarter is historically a very slow quarter. And by the end of the 3rd quarter, people are like, oh my gosh. And then we hit now. And now we are full steam ahead into the holidays. And we are about to hit a gigantic wave of energy. And if we plan accordingly, this wave will take you and take us into the new year. So I want to go through some points. I have 6 points outlined tonight of how we can use the next 2 months of this year, although we're still in October, but we're edging towards the end, and be really productive and ride this wave into the new year, starting with 1. Be productive and be organized. So for those of you who are not currently scheduling challenge groups, or you're not marketing a challenge group, I urge you to either tag on to someone who is, or take this month, that November, as an opportunity to really schedule in your next challenge group. Scheduling out your challenge groups, there's value in that not only for you, but for your audience. Your audience gets a peppering of your marketing. If you know you're going to run a challenge group that every first Monday or every third Monday of the month, you can then pepper your marketing. And so like the first week of every month, I schedule my groups the third Monday of every month. So if you watch my marketing, the second week, towards the second week, starting into that third week, I'm like heavily seasoning my salad with lots of seasoning. I'm like, now's the time. If you don't get on now, you can't join till next month. Now, I may not have any challengers, but nobody knows that. And so what that allows me to do is that third Monday is there. My challenge group is essentially closed, right? And now I dial back in my, hey, join my challenge group. And now I can lay back in my own marketing. I can say, okay, now I'm going to post some inspiration and some funny things and things like that. So it helps you as the coach from not feeling that salesiness that we feel of always pushing, pushing, pushing. It also allows your brain to relax and be like, okay, all right, I have a little breathing room. And then, all right, week 1, I'm going to ramp up. Last week of the month, I'm going to ramp up. Week 1, I'm going to ramp a little bit more. Week 2, I'm heavily seasoning. Week 3, my challenge group starts. Breathe again. And again, you're ebbing and flowing. You're creating those miniature ebb and flows throughout those quarterly ebb and flows. So along with being productive and being organized, if you get out your calendars and you look at this next 2 months of the year, we have November and December. That leads us into January. You decide when you want to run your challenge groups. Heather and Bobby and I and a bunch of other coaches on the team are running the Holiday Hustle starting November 2nd. The reasoning behind the November 2nd start date is because it gets us right before Thanksgiving, 21 days, and they're on Thanksgiving. What a great time to do a challenge, right? And then you're in the Thanksgiving and the Christmas hustle. In addition to that holiday hustle, I'm still going to run my third Monday challenge group. But if you start to back out, you can say, okay, in November I'm going to run this, in December I'm going to run that, and I'm going to market my January. You have those 3 months. You have now a beginning of a shell of an organizational piece that you can start to organize your time around and your marketing around. That brings me to number 2. You are all business owners. I know that you're students and you're also full-time trainers and you're instructors and you all have other jobs and your moms and dads and you have lots of roles in your life. None of us are full-time Beachbody coaches, but whether we're full-time or we're part-time, we are business owners. So when you get out your calendars and you benchmark certain dates as a business owner would and your quarters, back it out. Start with, in 2016, what's your goal? Like, what's your end goal? My goal is, I don't want to say it out loud. I'm just kidding. My goal is to reach 10-star. But if I dial that backwards, if I just think, oh my God, I got to get to 10-star and I don't dial it back, I'm just like overwhelmed with the enormity of that. If I dial it back and I think of those 4 quarters, November, December, and January, that carries me into that flow is going to carry me right into second quarter. And before you know it, you're going to be through the first quarter of 2016 because of the momentum of the holiday hustle and all the people who want to lose weight and start over, New Year's resolutions. In February, we have people who are like, okay, I didn't get on the January bandwagon, but now I'm ready. And before you know it, we're going to be in the second quarter. So when you start to work from the end backwards, like a business owner, that helps you be more productive in not only your daily jobs, but your part-time business, your Beachbody business. So think monthly, think yearly, then dial it back monthly. And when you think yearly, block out those quarters. And then in each quarter, where are those challenge groups? And then from monthly, then you dial it weekly. And from weekly, you go daily. And when you do that, it really starts to form that shell and it doesn't seem so overwhelming. When you help control your chaos, you get to add other things, and you get to, when you build that shell, that shell is an outline for your growth. Just because I run a challenge group on the third Monday of every month, it doesn't mean I don't run another challenge group like this November 2nd holiday hustle. But having that organized shell allows you the brain capacity to put in those weird things that pop up when you get those 4 people that call you and all of a sudden you need a challenge group and you got to put one together right away. Now that shell allows you the brain power and the time in your day to do that. So number 3, be realistic. Be realistic with your days. So I'm going to use Jake as an example because we Zoomed today and we were talking about how he organizes his week. And because of Jake's job, his other job, he is pretty much out of commission Friday through Sunday. But because he knows he's going to be out of commission Friday through Sunday, or like Alyssa, I know that she has exams coming up and she's not going to be able to do a whole lot. So she said, well, I'm going to do all this tonight so that I can get this done. When you know you're going to be out of commission like Jake does, a lot of us come back and we're like, on Monday, we feel like that eternal catch up. I can't tell you how often I hear coaches say, I'm behind, I'm behind. We're actually never behind. We are where we are. It is what it is. We're not behind. We're starting. So when you plan and you know, hey, look, I can't realistically spend an hour Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Monday through Thursday. I'm going to kill it. So when I come back on Monday, I'm walking into something instead of feeling like I'm walking behind something. I already feel like I'm ahead because I planned, I scheduled. Number 4, scheduling posts. If you don't have a scheduler, a lot of us started using that Buffer. It's when you can pre-schedule your Instagram posts and your Facebook posts. If you're not currently using a scheduler, I highly encourage you to spend some time. And if you guys need help learning how to use one, I can help you with that. I sit down once a week and I schedule out my posts Monday through Sunday. And what that allows me to do is some days I don't get to post organically, but I've already taken care of that. I'm not falling off the face of the earth. And also what it allows me to do is those days that I do have more time to post organically, I can be more, I don't have to worry about scheduling about hitting my challenge group posts. Because, if you're always like, oh my gosh, I got to do a challenge post today, and I got to invite, and I got to follow up, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. When you schedule that, sit down one time a week and schedule some posts, that again helps formulate that shell, and it opens up your brain to other things. Within that scheduling of posts, that brings me to number 5, organize your posts. A good posting is 3 times a day. So many of us, when we start out, feel like, oh my God, that's so much, 3 times a day. But if you look at how your posts flow, like Jake and I were talking tonight, and a lot of times what I'll do is, how when you go to your Instagram, you can go over to the right-hand side and you can look at your Instagram in a block and see like the last 7 days of posts. I'll look and I'll say, oh, well, I actually haven't formally invited for a week, but I feel like I just invited yesterday. So I can look at them as a whole and I'll be like, okay, well, today, Monday I do a freebie post. Tuesday I'm going to do inspiration. A lot of you have done our social media challenge groups and things like that, and you know what I mean by organizing your posts. That there's an ebb and a flow. There's the funny posts. There's letting people into your life posts. If you just ebb and flow through, we have the freebie, we have the inspiration, and freebie, you're offering something for free. A free recipe, a free tip of the day. Offering inspiration, just a feel-good post. Then a talking to them post. Heather, Jake is really good at this. I've started doing this a lot more lately. When I write my paragraphs like, hey, I'm talking to you. Yes, you. You out there who feel like your week went to haywire and you didn't get anything done. I wrote a post like that this week and I got tons of great feedback. So when you actually write your content as if you're speaking to your audience and talking to them on the phone, then there's the direct invitation post. And then there's the sharing post. And I think the sharing post can be broken out into 3 major groups. Sharing yourself and your life, just you and your dog sitting next to you, your girlfriend who's mad at you, your Rosie dog posts, or your Maya posts, and Amira's posts of her and her crazy family in her garage. And then there's the sharing of your Beachbody business. What has Beachbody provided you? The opportunity to go to the beach and work from the beach. And also, the third category of sharing is sharing what it's done for others. You know, sharing other people's results. Sharing is a large category. So when you organize your posts and you live by that 80-20 rule, 80% is non-Beachbody related and 20% is that direct invite. I'm a coach and, you know, here's my Shakeology. Carl Deichler does it. Melanie Mitro does it. Christine Dwyer. I mean, if the owner, the CEO of the company can do it, Shakeology selfies, we all need to be like, people forget that we're Beachbody coaches. We feel like we're constantly peppering with Beachbody, 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 and we feel like that because that's all we're thinking about. But our audience doesn't know that, and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot. Jen Guy is now a Beachbody coach, and I forgot she's running that challenge group. And so we need to continue to invite directly. And if you're doing the good 80-20 rule, that's a really good rule. All right. My coach used to say, you know, sometimes we feel like we're overdoing it, but it never looks like how it feels, which is why I encourage you to look at your Facebook post, to go back and look at it from a viewer and be like, oh, you know what? It actually looks really good. I used to say to my coach, God, I couldn't breathe while I was running that routine. I feel like that routine just sucked. I felt like that element, I landed all wrong. And then I would look at the video and it looked nothing like I felt. People don't know how you feel. They only know what it looks like. So when you're able to go back and look at your posts as a grouping once a week and go back and look at it without that filtering of what's going on in your head, you'll get a better understanding of what's really happening in your marketing. Your business goals, and all of you have a lot of them, your business goals and your desires have to be bigger and at the forefront. They have to be bigger than what you want today. And so what I mean by that is, you know, I know that a lot of you are in school. Alyssa's really stressed, and Tia with school. And I know that it's hard for them to get on a team call. And, you know, Marilee Groth has a crazy busy job, and it's hard for her to sit down and invite 10 people. But you guys really have these big goals of what Beachbody, what you want out of it. So you have to get out of today and think with the end result. What do you want in the end? You know, sorry to use you again, Alyssa. Alyssa and I boxed a lot when she first started coaching, and she was having a lot of flow and a lot of success. And she was like, I want to be a 2-star, and I can see this helping me through college. And, you know, now it's hard. But if you constantly move forward with the end result in the forefront of your brain, then the daily tasks become a lot easier. And because your result is in your forefront every day. You have to remember, oh, this brings me to number 6, confidence. We have to stop asking and start telling people what they need. Stop asking people for permission. We are the experts. You're the expert. And even if you know nothing else, even if you don't know everything there is to know about Shakeology, even if you don't know the ins and outs of the Ultimate Reset, you know one thing, and you've done one thing that's something that your audience hasn't done, and it's this. You've taken the first step. You are an expert in the first step. And 99% of the people who are watching you aren't able to make that first step. You are the expert. You have the roadmap, and you can share with them what that first step looks like and guide them through it. Maslow's theory of human motivation. There's food, which Beachbody has. There's safety and security in financial security. And the other thing in Maslow's theory of human motivation is love and belongingness to a community of like-minded individuals, which is what we have. People want to be guided. They want to belong. And you're the expert. So we have to forget that we don't feel confident. It doesn't matter what you feel like. You are the expert. Start telling people, hey, I see your Facebook post. You know what? This would be great for you. And so often we get caught up in not being confident. We get scared and we get fearful. And, I was just talking to Jen Embers tonight, and she's been a Beachbody coach for longer than me. And her biggest fear is inviting people. And I'm like, what are you scared of? Like, the worst thing they're going to do with that Facebook invite is roll their eyes and not respond. She's like, yeah, that's true. And so you just got to bite the bullet and just do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? They're just going to ignore you. So what? All right, well, they're missing out. And when they're ready, they'll come talk to you. I'm going to end tonight's call with this. My takeaways, what I want you guys to take away from all those 6 points. Make your map and follow it. Make your map for the end of the year. Make your shell. This map is going to help you stay out and stay away from what the possible downfalls and the ebbs of the emotional side of Beachbody business is. When we go to a new place, we pull out the GPS, and when we feel lost, we listen to her and we follow the map. Our business is no different. When you make the map, it allows you to, when you feel lost in your business, to go back to your map, to remember the end result and what you're working towards, and stay on the map until you feel better and what it looks like feels the same to you. Find freedom within the discipline that you're creating for yourselves. This is the perfect time of year for you to create discipline within your Beachbody business. It is the busiest time of year. It is the craziest time of year, but it is also one of the biggest inflections into our business. And this next 3 months will literally set you up for the entire year. Whether those people call you now or they call you in 3 months or 6 months, these next 3 months, this discipline that you create now within the holiday season will provide you freedom for the next 4 quarters in 2016. Sustainability is the ultimate goal in our lives. Sustainability in our Beachbody business, sustainability for financial freedom, sustainability in our daily practices, sustainability for our happiness and our emotional well-being. At the end result, we are all after sustainability. The only way to do that is to create a shell of consistency that allows us to build that sustainability and have freedom as a result of it. And that's all I have. I'm going to unmute you guys. You are all officially unmuted, except, I'm going to unmute you too, Jen. Except Heather. Heather says, no, Maya's having a huge temper tantrum. Don't unmute me. Do you guys have any questions or comments?
I was dying laughing, by the way, when you were telling the best story.
Amira, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I really liked in the beginning how you were saying how Jake is out of commission on Saturday and Sunday. And when he comes back on Monday, he feels like he's behind because on Sundays, I'm never home and I try not to use my phone on Sundays. So come Monday, I feel like I'm so behind and so many days have gone past and then I actually have a hard time getting back into it. So then I go half the week without posting, and so that's where I struggle the most too.
Well, let me just correct you really quick, because Jake actually doesn't feel behind on Monday, but a lot of coaches do. But I was saying he doesn't because of the planning, but so many coaches do. Yeah. I just didn't want Jake to get thrown under the
No, that's fine. Yeah, I definitely think. I mean, I have felt behind before. I generally don't, but I think Amira, maybe just scheduling like a set hour on that Monday, just a power hour. Just every single week, do it the same way. I think that might be helpful.
Yeah.
I don't know if you tried it yet or not.
Not yet. But I agree for sure.
Yeah.
I think too, though, like it doesn't always have to be a power hour. It can be that 15 minutes, and also it could just start with. I think for you, Amira, specifically, just scheduling posts in advance, that would be a huge help to you, because then it takes away that feeling of like you're behind.
Right.
I think you would do better just scheduling out in advance and then being able to make your organic posts throughout the week, because you're really good about that. You've been really great about that.
Yeah.
I think that for so many coaches, we get overwhelmed with, I was supposed to. Oh, I was supposed to, do this today, and I'm supposed to do that. Well, if you're always saying I was supposed to, then you got to rethink how you're doing it and make it work for you. Then it's not realistic, and you got to dial it back. You have to be realistic. Yeah. Tia, do you have any comments?
No. Good job.
All right.
But I can always be reminded to map out my life.
Yes.
It was a good reminder.
Yeah, I really like that about just the idea of mapping out an entire quarter, and within that, mapping out each month within that quarter. That's not something I've done, and I see that being hugely beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no one comes into Beachbody thinking, oh, I'm going to be a business owner. And so the one advantage I had not knowing a thing about Beachbody is I was already a business owner. And so when you look at it as it is, which is a business, and you map out your quarters and say, okay, well, here are my major goals within each quarter. And now what's like at the gym, we're like, okay, what's the theme for November and December? Like I already know what the marketing is throughout the year. And that provides that discipline provides me a huge amount of freedom for me to do other things like a Beachbody business. Bye, Heather. So it's very beneficial. All right, you guys, I'm going to stop the recording.